Hello, hello, Team Cup Runneth Over. I just did a video in the game plan group, and whenever I get my video thing set up, I am like ready and prepared to share more videos. So I have been thinking a lot about a subject, and I wanted to share with you guys, I wanted to talk with you guys because I always feel like God is kind of growing me in areas and working on areas of my heart, and He uses my business a lot to do that. And so I always want to share with you guys what I'm learning because I've been doing this business for 3 years. And if I can help your business, if I can share what I've learned with you guys and help you to grow either faster or help your team to be stronger or help you to have better relationships within your team, then I want to do that because I would rather you hear my struggles and learn from them and it benefit you than me not share, right? So if what I talk about touches your heart and you feel like, wow, I can totally relate to that, well then hopefully you'll take what I'm saying and you will run with it and you will grow in that area. God might be growing you in a completely different area. This might not be where you struggle and you might not be able to relate. But I can tell you one thing in this business is that if you are not willing to grow, if you are not willing to look at yourself and be a little humble and think, okay, I might need to change a little in the way that I do this, I can tell you that you might stay stuck. I've actually had, I've taught a lot of classes, and I had one of my sweet, amazing members tell me that I seemed so natural when I was talking, and it made me laugh and giggle because my first class, I held my little flip book and I was shaking and I was so nervous, and I just wish that some of you could see where I was then and how far I've come and how far I've grown just from putting myself in situations that weren't always comfortable and by just doing it even when I wasn't feeling like I was a pro at it. And I know that some of the diamonds have said, like, we can look at the diamonds on the 12 Days of Diamonds page and we can be like, well, I'm not like that. I'm not positive, or I'm not energetic, or I can't carry myself with that confidence. Well, I can guarantee you that they did not start that way, that the reason they are that way is because they went through this process and this struggle to get to diamond, and that is who they came out at the end. So I want to encourage you guys, but today what I want to talk about is fear and social anxiety when you're teaching, when you're in a room, and how we can really change our minds to just overcome that, and also just to be better humans and care about people more. So I don't know about you guys, but I used to be like, I would go to teach a class, and once you get beyond your friends, you're going into people's houses and you're meeting people. The only person you might know is the host. And so for me, that was very difficult. I'm introverted by nature. And so I would always go into those situations and I would feel so uncomfortable. And this is what I have learned, over the last year as I've been kind of trying to grow in this area. What happens is usually if you are having fear or social anxiety as you are going into a group setting, it is because you have your eyes focused on yourself. When I would go into a room like that, I would kind of be feeling like, oh, they're not going to like me, or, oh, they're not going to understand what I'm saying, or as obviously when you're selling Young Living, oh, they're going to think I'm a salesperson. Like, it was always focused on me and how I was going to be received, right? So my eyes were on me. And what really has started to shift for me is that I have started to look at people and worry more about engaging with them, worrying more about them and how I could help them or what I could learn about them. So taking my eyes off me and looking at new people and being willing to learn who they are, ask them about their family, learn about their kids. What was I going to say? yeah, I used to get so much anxiety that I couldn't remember people's names. Like I would remember their face and I would be able to be like, oh, I know I've met this person, but I could not remember their name because I was so worried and so fearful and so focused on myself and what was going on in my head. And now I've noticed in the last year, like I'm able to remember people's names and a little bit about their family, maybe their kids. And like this has really helped me to grow in caring about people. And I think that, you know, when you make that shift in this business where you are looking at people and thinking, who can I help today? Instead of thinking, what can I sell? Or, you know, that sort of thing. Like you're really building relationships with people. You win no matter what, because you're making new friends. You're learning about people. There is a verse in the Bible, and I forgot to write it down because I was going to look it up, but it says something like, you know, consider others more important than yourself. And, you know, I feel like this really encompasses that when you start to take your eyes off yourself and you start to move forward to really be wanting to know people and wanting to learn about them. And the cool thing is that when you ask people questions about themselves, people love to talk about themselves. They really do. They want to share about what's going on in their lives. And so I really encourage you in that aspect to like overcome fear and social anxiety when you're teaching or when you're in a room full of people you don't know. Take your focus off yourself and start to focus on people. Connect with people, ask them questions about themselves. Really know that they are valuable and that they have something to share with you and that you can help them. Like you have something to help them. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Then I think this is really, really cool to think about. So I'm reading this book, The Energy Bus. I just started it. So good. It's by the author of Soup, and I love that book. So, but the cool thing is the beginning of this book has come up twice for me. I was listening to a YouTube video about overcoming limiting beliefs, and so there was this example. So let me share this example because it was in the front of this book too. And I was like, wow, that's twice now I've heard this in 2 weeks. I always feel like when those things happen, God is trying to tell me something. So it was when these people are speaking, they're talking to a crowd and they say, okay, I want everyone in this group to go up and introduce yourself to 2 or 3 people. And when you do it, I want you to go with the mindset of, you know, they're not very valuable, or with the mindset of, this is dumb. I don't want to have to go and introduce myself to people I don't know. Then go introduce yourself to 3 people with that mindset, right? And so then they went and did that. And then the next thing he said to do was go and introduce yourself to 3 other people and introduce yourself like they are your long lost best friend. They are someone that you have missed or valued. Now go up and introduce yourself to them with that in your head. And of course the people went, and you know, there was a difference. Like they always ask the audience, like, which one was better? Which one did the person respond? Which one did you make a better connection? And just to show people how much what we're thinking and how we're projecting ourselves, even just by our thoughts. Like you might go and do the same thing. You might go out and say, hi, my name is Liz. Nice to meet you. What's your name? You know, but what you are thinking and feeling inside can change the way you are projecting and the way, I don't know how to explain it, but it was funny because of my social anxiety. The first thing that came to my mind was at church. Sometimes at church, they have the meet and greet time, and I've always felt like, oh my gosh, I do not like this part. I have to talk to people I don't know. And it's so interesting just to think about our mindset. And when we are going into a situation, if we are thinking about us and thinking like, oh, this is stupid, or, oh, I don't want to do this, versus if we're thinking, this is a person of value. I want to know something about them. I have something that could help them. I might make an amazing friend out of this situation. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. I would love to know your thoughts. If you've suffered with these things, if these things have gone through your head, you know, I feel like I'm always a work in progress. I'm always growing, and I'm always trying to become, better, become a better human, become more caring about people. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Hopefully you'll start to think about your mindset as you're going into teaching classes, as you're going into meeting one-on-one with people, as you're reaching out to people in your team to talk about essential rewards and all these things. We might not think so hard about this, but I really think it could matter the way that you're thinking, your positive energy that you're putting out there, and the way that you're caring about people, not just in this business, but just in life in general. So hope somebody found this valuable, and keep up the good work. You guys, you're awesome. And I hope this helps you in some way, me sharing the craziness that goes on in my life. So love you guys.